Welcome to this explainer. You know, most people who get totally frustrated with AI, they're actually using it wrong. And I don't mean they're writing bad prompts. I mean they're fundamentally asking it to do things it was literally never built for. We see it all the time. People treat it like a search engine, right? Or a giant calculator, or even some kind of infallible truth machine that just never lies. And then, surprise, it fails. And what happens? We immediately blame the tool. But here's the real secret. AI isn't some general purpose magic. At its core, it's just a pattern matching machine. During its training, it basically read enormous amounts of text and learned the shapes of things. It figured out what words usually follow other words or what a dense legal contract looks like compared to, say, a snappy product review. That pattern matching engine? That is the secret sauce behind absolutely everything AI actually does well. Once you grasp that, the 7 specific things it's good at make total immediate sense. Now, I'm going to come back to what it can do in a minute, because that's just as important. But first, let's dive into the 7. Number 1, summarization. You hand it a dense 30-page report and boom, you get a crisp 1-page summary. It works incredibly well because the content is sitting right there in front of it. There's zero need to invent anything. It's just pulling out exactly what matters. Next up is text creation. Think emails, blog posts, docs. Basically, it's a super advanced next word guesser working at massive scale. If you give it clear direction, it follows the pattern beautifully. But keep in mind, vague instructions are absolutely going to give you vague results. Then we have classification. This is your endless sorter for emails, support tickets, reviews, you name it. The beauty here is that it doesn't get exhausted by item 500. It just tirelessly keeps reading and matching categories. Number 4 is sentiment analysis. Positive, negative, mixed. It's really good at reading the basic feeling behind surface words. But a quick warning here, sarcasm will totally trip it up. If a user writes, "Oh great, another bug," the AI usually sees those surface words and thinks, "Awesome, they're happy." Coming in at number 5 is data transformation. This is purely mechanical work. You plug in one format of data and you get another format right back out. Taking a messy CSV and turning it into a clean JSON file or cleaning up formatting on a huge list of dates, it handles that perfectly. 6 is search and enrichment. This means finding very specific things in the documents you provide or filling in gaps based on its learned knowledge. Let's say you have a list of 50 company names and you need to know their industries. You just hand over the list and it fills in the blanks. Simple as that. And wrapping up the rapid fire list, data extraction, think of it as a brilliantly smart highlighter. You need names, dates, or dollar amounts pulled out of totally unstructured text. You just tell it what to circle and it finds it. Okay, so let's slow down for a second and pivot to the hard limits, because this is where things get really interesting and honestly a little risky. AI utterly fails when the patterns run out. If you throw novel reasoning at it, like a genuinely new type of problem it has literally never seen before, it just guesses. And the scary part? It guesses confidently. Math is actually the perfect example of this. The model only sees numbers as tokens, which are basically just chunks of text. It doesn't have a mental number line, it doesn't understand carrying operations, and it has zero working memory for complex calculations. It learned that 2 plus 2 equals 4 from reading training text, the exact same way it learned everything else. So for multi-step math, it's essentially just predicting what a correct looking answer should look like. Sometimes it nails it, but sometimes it totally misses the mark. Then there are the really obvious limits, like real-time information. Unless you have specific search tools connected, the model only knows what existed in its training data up to its knowledge cutoff. Yesterday's news, today's stock prices, it flat out doesn't have those. And let's not forget physical experience. It's never held a tool or cooked a meal, so any task, requiring real-world physical understanding is just entirely outside its reach. Which brings us to the absolute biggest trap you can fall into. AI rarely, if ever, looks at you and says, hey, I can't do this. Instead, it tries anyway, and it sounds incredibly confident while doing it. That false confidence is exactly what makes it so dangerous in the wrong context. For instance, high-stakes scenarios absolutely require human verification. We're talking legal citations, medical dosages, financial regulations. In any task where a hallucinated mistake has massive real-world consequences, you need a human in the loop every single time. And that's not because the AI is necessarily bad at these things. It's because the real-world cost of being wrong is just way too high to skip the check. You have to apply that same caution to bias. AI learned its patterns from human-generated text. And, well, human text contains human biases. If the training data was skewed, you basically guarantee the outputs are going to be skewed too. That doesn't make the tool useless, not at all. But it does mean you should never treat it as an entirely neutral source. So what's the actual skill we need to develop here? Honestly, it's not about picking the perfect model. Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini, they all handle those first 7 types of tasks really well. The real skill is diagnosing the problem correctly. It's knowing exactly which of the 7 types your problem belongs to long before you ever type a word into the chat. At the end of the day, almost all of our AI frustration just comes from a mismatch. The tool itself is highly capable, it's just that the problem didn't fit. 7 types where it works perfectly, and a handful of places where it absolutely doesn't. That is the entire map. The moment you start looking at your daily work through this new framework, everything changes. You stop asking, is AI useful? And you start asking, okay, which type of problem is this? So I challenge you to try it out. Think back to the last task you tried with AI that just totally frustrated you. Which of the 7 types was it? Or more importantly, was it actually any of them?